All right. Good morning online. Good morning. Good morning. Please turn your cameras on if you're clothed and ready for the day. I want to see your smiling faces. I'm going to wrangle this crowd really quick. So awesome. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, that's Marissa.
I know, I met her. That's why I was thinking.
Oh my gosh. Good morning. Thank you guys up front for me. Clap once if you can hear me.
Hi, bud.
Yeah. By the way, Marissa, my wife is real. I know. She's real. She's real. This has been like years in the making, feels like. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we're going to kick it off. We got a lot to cover, All right, let's kick it off really quick. I know there's some wins in the room online. I haven't talked to you, so I don't know if there's any wins on there. So go ahead and unmute yourself or throw it in the chat box if you have a win. But where'd our win go? Where's Mike? All right, he gone. Valerie, what's your win?
I have a listing appointment today.
Yay. Awesome. How'd you get the listing appointment?
Thanks to my marketing genius, it was a click on the website. I was looking for somebody to come over
Oh, that's a win.
right away. So,
Boom. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. You want any more information? Contact me. Holly, you have a win. What's your win?
and yeah, got a new contract.
Yeah, on your listing, right? That didn't take long. Couple of days. There we go. Congratulations.
It's still happening, huh?
Oh yeah, it is.
Wow. That's
First
awesome.
weekend.
Johnny,
Yeah, man.
got a win.
What's your win?
All right, I got two of them. One, filled up our $3,100 rental, boom, just like that, up at the
Nice.
castle. So if
Nice.
you got anybody that needs to rent out a high-end property or anything, that's great. Two, called and expired this morning, boom, got an appointment. Called one the other day, boom, got an appointment. So, I mean, every time I've gotten on the phone, you get on the phone, it's an hour, you're done, you get set up. One appointment every hour.
Dude. Well, that's kind of what we're covering today with Miss Alicia. Round of applause for Barry. That's about a win. All right. Well, market update. Do you want to do London or want to go straight into the presentation? What do you want to?
Market update, okay, if you're gonna let me do both, then I will give you the sugar that I gave PCAR this morning.
Sure.
So lender update, guys, here's how you can keep your deals together if they're in jeopardy of falling out. So here's 21 tools in my toolbox to save your deal. Number one, find cheaper insurance. Yesterday I had homeowners insurance at $130 a month. I had a DPI problem. Lending now allows up to a $10,000 deductible. I cut the insurance in less than half, save the deal. Check the tax rate. If the lender's using 1.25%, but the taxes happen to be 1.1, if they use the actual tax rate, it'll reduce the debt to income and save the deal. Settle a collection for 50%. Lenders have to count 5% of any collection balance that they have in the monthly payment. If you call and settle it for 50%, now you count 0 per month. You can refinance a car loan in less than 48 hours. If they've had the car loan for 1 year, they just have to call in, and most of the time they can cut the payment in half. These are a lot of the times debt to income problems, right? Mm-hmm. So you can rapid rescore them to get a better interest rate. So if they're 679 and it's a 7 business day turnaround for rapid rescore, we could pay a debt off, get a new score in 7 days. Now you can get a better interest rate, better payment. Balance transfer a debt to a lower interest rate. Sometimes clients will go over the limit or will make one late payment. Now their credit card defaults to 30+% right now. If they do a balance transfer and the new rate is 0% for 18 months or whatever, now the payment that you have to count the loan is much, much cheaper, and it takes 24 hours. You can obviously get a cosigner is like the easiest solution in the book. Switch to an ARM. I locked a 3.75 loan yesterday on a 10-1 ARM with 20% down. Get the seller to pay to buy the rate down. On jumbos, they can give up to 6%. So we talked about this last week, 20%, 20,000 toward points will get the borrower 60 grand more in loan amount for the exact same payment. If student loans are what's holding you up because the debt to income, you can switch from a Fannie Mae loan to a Freddie Mac loan, and you only have to count half of the monthly payment as you do when you go with Fannie Mae. So this is with conventional financing. Again, if the student loans are the problem, you can switch and count much less in the payment. A lot of times you can throw a gift in the file to fix the DU. If automated underwriting is denying the client, If you throw in 12 months reserves, it'll often approve the file, something so simple. So then I just ask family members to give me a gift that they can then pay back after closing. Rebuttaling and appraisal. I don't know if you guys really realize that's a thing, but if they come in low, I already told recently a story. I got one thrown out and increased it by 200,000. So a very significant difference in opinion, right? So it matters. Don't just accept what comes back. So bank statement only, I locked a 5% rate yesterday on a 7-1 arm on a bank statement only program. I'm getting builder turndowns like crazy. And that's how I'm getting a reminder of these different solutions that we can do to fix it. But it was denied, and in 12 months bank statements, you send it over in 10 minutes. I'm like, done, solved. You make 10 grand a month that you're depositing. And it was 5% interest rate, not a bad interest rate. Skip a car payment. If your client's short $500 to $1,000 at close, they don't know where they're going to get the money. They can call into their current mortgage company or current car company, skip a payment. It doesn't show up on your credit. You have to call ahead of time. You can't just skip it or it'll be a derogatory. But if you call ahead of time, you say, hey, am I eligible to skip my payment just one time without affecting my score? They go, yeah, and they shoot them an email as evidence. That way, if the mortgage company does a verification of history, there's proof they weren't required to pay. But it puts another couple thousand in their pocket or puts $500 in their pocket, and it doesn't hurt their credit. Shinoa is a current first-time homebuyer program that is down to a 600 credit score, down payment assistance. So if you have people that just can't get their credit right, it's still an option for them to go 100% financing. You can, if you have a client who is sensitive about the payment, you can do a 3-way call with their tax advisor to help them understand how much of a tax refund they're going to get and let them reduce that income tax out of their paychecks now. That way they'll get 400 or 500 more in their paychecks. You can back defer student loans if the client missed a bunch of student loan payments and it destroyed their credit. If at the time their bank statements show their income went down or the deposits are down by 25%, the student loan company will back defer those and now show them current. And you get like 100 points in your credit score. So that's pretty handy. You can add an 18-year-old fresh out of high school to a loan application who's only been working for like 2 months, because high school counts as history. So if the family's struggling and the teenager is $1,000 a month job part-time, add them to the loan. You can assume the current loan. You guys hear me? Mm-hmm. Start asking your sellers, what kind of loan do you have? FHA loans are assumable. So people can try to take that loan over and pay them cash for the difference if those loans are still in the 2s and the 3s. So keep that in mind. That is an option.
No, and keep in mind, that's a very advanced strategy in the real estate.
Are we not playing with the big boys right now?
Sure. I'm just saying, for us real estate agents, please reach out to people that have done so. I've done assuming
It's case by
I've
case.
done these ones before, okay, but they're not for beginners.
Yeah. It's case by case with the bank who holds the lien. So that would be the phone call that would need to be made. What is that particular bank's criteria? Some will let it be to anyone, some want it to be a family member.
And I have a company that you guys can turn to that are like TCs that will walk you through the entire thing.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it off their plate. Sorry, that was my 2-minute version of a lender update.
That was really good, really good. On the assumable thing, like seller financing is also an option, right? It's basically the same deal, but you got to make sure that the bank's okay with that, because they don't want, if they don't want you doing that. The loans are not always assumable, and they'll call the loan due if they catch you doing it. So that's why another reason why Drew's saying be careful with what
You
you're
have to be
doing,
careful. Yeah.
because it can,
Again, with that same company will help you with that one too.
yeah.
So we just had one right now where she couldn't qualify non-contingent, but she didn't really need the money from the sale. It was just hitting her debt ratio. So we had her daughter take it over.
There you
And
go.
now I don't have to count it.
Easy.
So it's just a way to help with the purchase, as I got rid of that FHA loan offer back and put it on her daughter.
There you go.
Right.
So very cool. Today, okay. So I get to share some scripting with you guys that I have picked up over the years. I gave you guys a packet. Now there's a million different coaching programs out there. I happen to be in one for 18 years now called The Core. It's lenders and realtors. And one of the things that I love is it reminds me when you go to the bowling alley and you'll see for the kids, they'll put those bumpers in the gutters, right? And that way the kids can throw the ball as crazy as they want and it's just gonna bounce off the sides and it's still gonna hit the pins every time. Does everybody know what I'm talking about?
Do,
Okay,
I still use
so
those.
theme days are my bumpers. So there's a lot of time I'm flaming ADHD that I get off track. I'm like squirrel. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, a text message, an email. You know, my famous quote everybody knows me for is like, oh, let me do this and I'll call you right back. And then I forget to call them back. Okay, so fun stuff. But it's real life for me. So what I do to make sure I hit the pins every time or I'm successful every single time is I set up my week in an organized fashion where it's themed. And I got this from the core and I follow it as religiously as I can. And over my career, this is how I can always maintain many escrows all the time is by making sure I follow my scripts and I track everything and I'm accountable to what I'm doing with my prospecting time. So Mondays, as you'll see on here for realtors, that is a good day for you to do your VIP calls. Now let's talk about who is on our VIP list. Friends and family can be a VIP. Why does that happen? How mad do we get when our uncle, sister, cousin, friend, people who are close to us do a transaction without us? We get pretty pissed, right?
Yep.
It hurts your feelings. You'd be like, what do you mean? You knew I do this job. It's because we are not talking to them about our job. We kind of take it for granted and we think, well, they just know I'm a realtor, right? No, but if we're calling on Monday and like my list is up to about 99 people total between really close people, mentors, friends, family, sisters. So you just do 10 a day. You can do 10 a day of that particular category as an example, but you're just checking in. Hey, did you know this? Did you know this loan program is going on? Did you know we switched to a buyer's market? Because anyone that they know, you want to think of this as a tree, right? And everybody you interact with, they're going to have a stem and an outreach. And if you're so fired up and you water them and you put Miracle Grow and they get to grow, they're going to be telling everybody about this news that you're sharing with them. But if you never share it with them, they're going to hear it from somebody else. And that's a lot of the times why our closest people will stray is somebody else is talking to them about something that we're not saying. Does that make sense?
100%.
So when you alternate, and you're calling them, it's nice to check in and say, hey, when are we going to hang out? We don't want to just dive into business, but I always like to take that opportunity to plan the next interaction, the next face-to-face appointment. Hey, I'm having a party later this year. I would love for you to make it. Hey, let's plan our next vacation. Hey, let's go do something together as a family. If you're never reaching out to them to calendar these things, then you just won't see them and 6 months will go by, right? And then distance builds. So this is an accountability to make sure you're calling those very important people. So this is saying, excuse me, not 10, but 15. You schedule one lunch per week. A birthday program. I have an Excel worksheet, and the only way to be successful is to have my assistant do a consistent thing. All the women get flowers, right? And all the guys get, right now I'm doing little Yeti cups with their name on it. But if you pick a consistent gift for the year and you just send everybody the same thing, you're more likely to do it and you can set it up on an autopilot. When we try to pick a unique, specific gift, it keeps you from doing it. Has anyone noticed that? The more complicated we make things, the less likely we're going to do things. So if you create a gifting program, you want to make sure you send a card, you send something, you eat with them in some way, whether it's dropping off a coffee, whether it's, I like to bring by little snacks or little cute little things. Like you guys will do the pop buys, kind of like that. But you want to categorize your VIPs as A, Bs, or Cs. I will put my biggest referring clients as a VIP, of course, because the more you touch them, the more they're going to refer you. One happy hour per month. Now, we don't have to overthink things, guys. A lot of times we'll overthink things and we'll go, well, I can't afford it. Do you know how many free events are out there? And they could buy their own drinks. But if you're like, hey, I'm super excited, I'm going to go to this brewery on Wednesday night, you should meet me there. They're not going to expect you to buy their drinks necessarily. It doesn't have to be your bill. You're just inviting them to spend time with you. Does that make sense? And it's free if you pick something cool that's happening and you invite them to meet you there, right? So it doesn't have to cost money. The letter from the heart and the EOS, I cannot stress to you guys how important this is. I get the most leads from my letter from the heart out of anything else. Letter from the heart is about what's going on in your life, your children. Most of the time, if you're willing to share pain, you will get the most leads. And when I say that, I have gotten 25 leads before from one letter. When I was sharing that my grandma had a stroke, you know, when I was sharing that my mom passed away, like, and I hate to say it like this, but every single time I shared pain, 25 leads that week, no problem. Because everybody's like, oh, they want to console you, they want to love you, they want to help you, they want to go, this happened to me also, right? They want to relate with you. But when we share pain, we're more human. We're not just that super successful realtor over there that's driving around in their Mercedes. No, no, no. We're someone just like them that suffers and has issues, right? They like us to be more real. So I love Letter from the Heart. It's a once a month thing. Evidence of success. That's a file story. So just like I shared with you guys how to save a deal, right? You guys can steal any solution and do a quick 2-sentence postcard to your database, or even in an email. Hey, everybody, I just wanted to share a successful story of a file this week. Here's what happened. We had a client who started out with a 500 credit score. Our lender did a rapid rescore and got them to a financeable score. And within 30 days, we got them in a house. Why are we sending that story? Tell me why you guys think I want to tell the public about that.
Other people might relate.
100%. You're throwing out this phishing lure so that people can go, man, I have crappy credit. I'm going to call you, right? And I really wanted to do that investment property and I got denied. I'm going to call that person. So you're looking for stories that people can relate to that have that problem, that are going to go, man, everyone else told me no, I'm calling you, right? So evidence success is once a month. And again, it can be an email. You don't have to mail it. So those are all we do with our VIPs. Tuesdays is status call. Who in here updates everybody in escrow every single week with what's going on a consistent basis? Yay! Everybody else? Pick a theme day. I'm telling you, there's something to be said. And here's the biggest value of picking a day for status to your clients. When they're about to call you 25 times, they're going to go, oh, well, she's just going to call me tomorrow anyways. It cuts down on the inbound. And they know you're going to be, and so you're like, man, I'm out in the field today, but tomorrow's my day. That's when I'm at the computer doing my status updates. They'll be patient and it's more organized. And then you make sure that every single person gets touched, right? And you get them an update. Do you have a question?
Yeah, what does EOS stand for?
Evidence of success. And letter of the heart, or I call it letter from the heart. So with the status calls, you want to check in with your sellers, check in with any buyers. We also, of course, mail our EOS to the database or letter. I send my marketing to everybody. I don't like single it out. I'm like, everybody needs to know the same thing. So status calls are very important. It's helpful to update the title company too. We don't really think about that. But for EXP especially, you guys are going to know that title companies can give you tons of agents who are not happy, because that's who they vent at, puke at, who they, oh, I hate this. They're going to hear all the chatter. And so if you're like, hey, title officer, if they're impressed with you and they're like, man, that Johnny has his stuff down, they're going to want to refer you other agents that are unhappy. So just keep that in mind. So Wednesdays, this is for hot leads and old leads. So you might say, okay, I'm going to go through all of my January leads that slipped through the cracks as an example, or do past leads. Once you get through your hot leads, then you pick months to do. I'm going to do January and February this day. I'm going to do February because there's a lot of people that I am getting a ton of people who were pre-qualified from October through February that didn't buy and are now back big time. So checking in with those people to say, man, have you heard it switch to a buyer's market? Just leaving that one voicemail, it's like out of control, the response that I'm getting, because they all got so discouraged by that darn seller's market, right? So just doing that on Wednesdays consistently. The other thing I like to use for Wednesdays is what we call our TBDs. So TBDs are everybody who has already been pre-qualified and now they have the letter and they're officially house shopping. Who in here has a list of their TBDs? You're killing me. Perfect, in the CRM is fine. So one thing I created to make my life easy is I have an Excel workbook with my Monday people, my Tuesday people, my Wednesday people. And the reason I do that is I upload it to Phone Burner. Phone Burner is just a dialer system that you record your voicemail ahead of time, but when they don't answer, I get to push a button. So it allows me to easily hit up 50 people in an hour. So it's a much faster way to touch people, and you can record a video in there, and it's like $80 a month. It's really, really cheap. But I use my list so that I can upload them into a dialing system. So the reason I love Wednesdays the most, guys, is I hammer my people to get under it. That is my, hey, I know we met last week, but you said you're gonna get those disclosures back to me. I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to get under it. Right now, the big thing is getting underwritten to do 2-week closing. Who's dealing with wishy-washy buyers? All of us right now. That's what we have to work with. Everybody is living in fear. They're making emotional decisions. 2-week escrows are so damn fast, their head spins, they don't know what the hell happened. They don't have time to change their mind.
Right.
I'm just being real. So think of that. Think of that.
Like a Vegas wedding.
Well, I have one right now. I told you yesterday, I said,
They
right,
change
well,
their mind, you can resell.
I don't want to give them a chance to get astray. I don't want their emotions to have a chance to freak out. The busier I keep them, they're not going to have a chance to freak out, right?
So true.
And when you're doing these updates, the energy and what you're saying, I cannot stress to you how crucial what you are saying to them is. When you're calling, like we had one, me and Cindy recently, and the appraisal was like $80,000 low, okay? And it was like, oh God, crap, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, and these people just happened to be putting 100 grand down. So guess how much it affected us? But my attitude to the borrower, if I called them and was like, oh man, your appraisal came in low and I don't know what to do. I mean, what are they going to do? Freak out and cancel? Because my attitude sucks, right? If I call them, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Did you see the appraisal? Sure, I don't really know what it means, right? First time home buyer. What it means is it came in just what we needed for your financing to stay the same and nothing to change. Isn't that amazing? Oh my God, it's so amazing. They don't know any different. It really boils down to us and what we are saying to them, right? So the Thursday calls, now who loves to call the database? Yay! My favorite thing in the whole wide world is to call my database because they like you, right? So these people like to hear from you. Now, some of us, we let a year go by. We let 2 years go by. We let sometimes even longer, right? And then we're like, oh God, they're going to think I'm a jerk. I don't even mind that one bit because I tell them, you know what, I miss talking to you. I really had such a great time and we bonded so much in the 60-day time frame or whatever. I really want to hang out with you. I'm having a party and I want you to come. I am huge with parties, guys, because I don't care who the hell I'm talking to. I have zero reluctance when I'm like, hey, you want to come party with me? Who's going to say no? Not really. So what kind of parties can we have? We're all on a budget right now, right? Like I mentioned, you can pick events that are already happening and meet people there, right? And have a booth or something, meet them there. You can have events at a park. Most of us can afford some hot dogs and some hot dog buns. It's not that expensive, but literally it's just the spending time. That's really what people want to do is spend time with you. So we don't have to overthink it. So Studio Movie Grill will let you rent the theater and it's like $11 a person unless it's changed. I don't know. I know Brent did it recently, but it's really cheap. Like $11 a person. So you have a family of 5 and it's $50 for you. That's not that bad. So we're doing one in next month at Studio Movie Grill, and then we're going to do a Christmas one and a fall one. But I'm going to let everybody come to my house. Not everybody has room to do that, but you guys can pick a park, a public park. And literally it's like you're just having a regular barbecue. But it's the power in the invites. That whole entire month is when you get to call and invite them. Oh, I'm so excited. I know it's been a few years and I'm so embarrassed that I haven't touched with you, but I really want to spend some time with you. And we're doing this. I mean, if you guys really need me to stop by with some miniature ponies, I'm sure I can pull it off, depending on the day. But things like that, where you just need just a little something that makes you comfortable, whatever that is. Hey, we're gonna be drinking some wine, if that's your thing, like whatever puts you guys in a more comfortable place, that's what I recommend. For me, it happens to be animals. So I'd love to hear some ideas from you guys, and this has to do with you individually. Tell me when you are your best you. Just yell it out.
Parks and kids.
At the park, perfect.
Whiskey and cigars,
That's perfect. Well,
no kid.
we've got different personalities in here. What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
The best when I'm the best.
When you are your best. You're so cute.
As long as she's with Chris.
Yeah.
Intentional.
Intentional.
I'm not my best doing what I love. That's what I do. Otherwise I wouldn't.
Well, that's what I mean. What do you love?
Working with my clients. I'm real one-on-one with my clients, real personal. I make my calls.
What fills up your cup? I'm gonna switch my question around.
Fills up my cup.
Besides your husband or your boyfriend. Traveling. Traveling. Okay. Traveling.
Playing music and smoking.
Music.
And there's some
Music.
cigar smokers in
music.
this room.
Travelers can do it.
Let's go.
You know, Brent used to rent a van and we take a day trip to Napa. You know, you can do
Yeah,
that as.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the reason I bring this up is one thing I've caught with my own self is I could be a raging jerk. It happens. Or I can be rainbows and butterflies, right? And I've had people go up to my husband and go, man, does she ever get mad? And he's like, oh. Yeah. I have to make sure I put myself in situations where I'm my best me, or I'm not gonna make any friends, right? You don't want to make yourself super stressed out. And obviously the intention is to have a party and do good things for other people. But all of a sudden, if you're a jerk because you're so stressed out, you can't, I mean, just be careful with that, because we can accidentally turn into a crazy person trying to please other people. And then people don't really want to be around you because you're not being very nice right now. Does that make sense? So I've learned that over time. When am I my best me? And that's the atmosphere I want to set myself up with, and the people I want to have around me who are taking care of all the things that trigger me to get frustrated. It's not who you want to be when you're throwing these events. You do not want to be frustrated, right? So keep that in mind.
So I have my answer.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. What is
My
it?
best is when I delegate things I'm allergic to. I love them.
Yeah,
This makes me happy and safe.
I love it.
Yeah.
When you feel at peace,
Yeah.
is when you're gonna do your best prospecting.
Yeah.
Is when you're gonna do your best prospecting. So, same thing for your past clients, the birthday program. So my CRM sends me everyone's birthday. I cannot even express the amount of business I get from texting them happy birthday. It takes me what, 5 minutes in the morning? Happy birthday, have an amazing day. And I put a little house emoji and a little party time emoji or whatever. And they're like, oh my God, I've been meaning to call you. That's my favorite thing that clients say. I've been meaning to call you. Well, I'm so glad that I reached out. Huh? So keep that in mind. And it takes like 5 minutes in the morning. You want to have at least 400 people in your database. Who in here has 400 people in their database? At least good, there's a lot. How many do not have 400 people in their database? Don't be shy, don't be embarrassed, because I'm going to tell you how to add more people to your database. So with Friday's business people, it's time to pull all of our old tricks that we used to do out of our, suitcase and go, it's time to prospect like maniacs right now. Okay. I've said this and it works so wonderfully, but I've said this for probably at least 15 years. The best way to get new business people in your database is, and I wish I brought it, I'm going to post it to the Brent Gove site. I created a, like a coupon book. It's one page, it's a coupon page. And I was going into all the businesses, which you guys can easily do. Hey, I'm a local lender, I'm a local realtor. When I get new buyers moving to the area, I would love to give them a coupon to come to your business. Is there any current specials you're doing? Oh, we give Non-members, member pricing for the first visit. Oh, wonderful. Would you have any issues if I took your logo and put that coupon on my coupon page to drive business to you? Oh, sure. Do we have a business card by chance? What are we gonna do with that business card? Put them in our database, right? And you can go to a strip mall and you can hit up 15 different businesses. Hey, do you have to have a program for your cook or your clerk or your cashier to help them buy a home? Did you know right now that you can do 100% financing in Auburn? Like I was doing that in Auburn. Every single manager was like, you want to come talk to my people? They're less stuffy up there, right? They don't have a program. They would love to see their cook in a house. They would love to see their dishwasher get a house, right? They love their people. And so when you say, well, I would love to come and teach them, would you mind if I brought breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning one morning? Now, if I come in just asking for something, I'm going to get a different answer than if I come in and I'm offering something, right? And I'm bringing a value. How can I help your business? Oh, by the way, I'd love to help your staff, right? That's an influencer and they have employees, right? So, and it's a super easy thing to do to create a coupon book. I mean, I did it in Word and it was really simple. But when you have an example to take into them and they're like, wow, that looks professional. Hey, I'm a local realtor. I have 300 people in my database and I have a lot of people moving here from out of the area. I would love to drive into your business. Does that make sense? But they're going to give you their business card and that's really what you're looking for. And if you do that enough, you'll have 400 extremely fast, right? So the other entity that I like to visit on Fridays is builders. You guys, who is visiting builders in here consistently? Just Hermie?
I just did one, 2 visits, but then after it said, oh, we already have our own brokerage.
Yes, they always do. Just so you know. So the reality is that the first time they'll probably be mean. The second time they're gonna kind of ignore you too. They're trying to test your tenacity, people. You can't give up on the second, third try. It might take 6 months. But once you crack a whale, that's called a whale. A whale is anybody who can give you 12 transactions a year, that one entity, right? I cannot express to you how important it is right now to go after these builders and win over the sales agents for 2 reasons for you guys in particular. One, when their current agent can't sell their home. Sorry, but I'll come in and do it right? That's one need where they need you. When their current agent just can't get the job done. And the borrower's freaking out and they're looking for help and they're willing to try something new because it's not working yet, right? Second reason, the borrower they really connected with and they really love just can't afford that $900,000 home. I'm sorry, I'm surely happy to help you go find one for $850, right? That agent's going to give it to you. But if you don't go ask for it, hey, is there anybody that you ran into this week that just couldn't afford this home? They're gonna give you the deals, but you've got to keep going back and going back and going back until they're looking forward to your visit because you're so consistent and you bring them their favorite coffee every week. Might be $100 investment, but if you crack it and now you're getting 2-3 deals a month every month for the next forever, it's worth it, right? Yep. But builders are a whale that you all need to be chasing. And again, it's like a courting, right? You're going to court your girlfriend until she can one day become your fiance, and then she's going to one day be your wife. You're going to court the builder till they give you some shitty deals first that aren't so great, and they may not work out, and they're going to give you the gold nuggets, right? You're building trust. You're showing them how tenacious you are. And when you show up every week with them saying no, and you go, I do the business the exact same way. I never give up until the job is done. Right? You're showing them what you have to offer, not just telling them. So I use a greatness tracker. I have severe anxiety from this one. Because if I don't fill this thing out every week, and I mean almost 100%, I literally feel like I will fail. It's been 18 years in the making. I've been filling out this form. My form has 20 talk tos a day. Because 13 isn't enough for me. I'm expensive. So mine has 20 talk tos a day. If I talk to 20 people every single day, I will at least close 10 transactions, if not 15 to 20 every month, as long as I talk to my 120 a week or whatever, or 100 times or 20 times 5 is 100 talk tos. When you're doing extra credit, you do the weekends, okay, great. But the reality is, guys, you want to see minimum of 2 people a day face to face. You want to eat with 1. You want to talk to anywhere from 13 to 20. You want to attend 6 events. What does that mean? Or excuse me, you want to attend 2 events per month, 2 events per month with at least 6 people. Networking events, YPN events. I like those, but I don't count those. I count, you want to count in your guys' cases where you get clients. You don't want to count at YPN. Other agents aren't giving you deals. Okay, but you can count a chamber meeting. You can count events where there's potential clients, right? Those you can count, but not a bunch of other realtors. That's not really gonna necessarily get you a ton of business. Videos, you want to make enough videos to have an audience of 500 or more a week. For those of you that have enough followers, it could be 1 video. For those of you that don't, you might have to do more than 1. What's the best way? Give me some ideas on how to grow your social media following. Go ahead and yell it out.
Go add people.
Yeah, I love it. Who are you adding?
Depends on the demographic we're going after. For me, like I'm going after agents. So I
Okay.
go add a bunch of agents.
So talking about client profiles, who do we want to be our client? Yell it out.
Influential people,
Like?
business owners,
Mhm.
HOA members.
property managers.
Doctors. Highly successful people, right?
Married with kids.
Right? Hashtag millionaire. Are we adding them? Self-made millionaire? Why would we not be adding them, right? Motivation. Pick the people you want to be around, right? Do we all want credit repair, dumpster fire clients? Or do we want rock star, I can pay cash if I feel like it and close in 9 days clients, right?
Yeah.
So you can come across a client who's like your favorite. You're like, oh my God, I loved interacting with you. Smoothest client ever, doesn't argue. You can add all their friends. I'm not even kidding, literally. Then they loved you. So not only that, now they're gonna be like, oh my God, they're the best. Oh, I helped your friend. Go ask them how I did, right? I literally, so I'm at 5,000, which I don't know why they cap you at that. But the way I did it is I just started going to the people I want and adding everybody that they know. Even whether they haven't accepted my thing or not, I don't care. I want to like all their friends. Because guess why they'll add you? Oh, you're friends with all these other people I know.
Yeah.
The other thing I do is like all their stuff. Like all their stuff all the time and give them little like hurrahs and high fives and whatever. One thing that everybody needs to understand that is so crucial, I compartmentalize. I could be a freaking crying mess, depressed, life sucks in the moment, whatever. And 5 seconds later, I'm ready to turn the show on. I'm a whole different human being. I compartmentalize that and I'm ready to roll. We have to be able to understand that this is a performance. When we interact with other people, we are performing at all times. And it is our energy they're either going to want a piece of or want to get away from. Right? So when you do the Pied Piper, we're like, come on, it's so exciting, everybody. Or we're like, hey, how are you doing? Did you want to buy a house? You know, like we don't have enough enthusiasm, right? Brent's the best at that. Enthusiasm is just a matter of lifting our voice and making it louder and using, voice inflection and stuff like that, guys. It feels so weird at first, but it gets really fun when people react. It gets really fun when people react. So why am I dressed like this?
Because you're crazy.
I am a little bit crazy. I'll give you that. Right.
Don't give her wrong.
But does it make you smile?
Yes.
Yep,
Does it create a warm and fuzzy?
yep,
Am I performing well then?
yes.
Right. So why would you not do that? Right? So when I visit builders, I do stuff like this. I'll bring an animal. I'll tell you what, so one of my favorite things that I ever did, and it was like fresh into visiting builders, is I brought my miniature horse right to the middle of a Pulte Homes sales meeting. There's like 35 agents, uninvited, by the way, I was uninvited. And I showed up with a horse. Hi, not your lender or anything, but hey, I just want to brighten your day. And I would say that a lot of times, hey, I just want to brighten your day. So if you have a dog, a cat, I don't care, anything that's not gonna bite people, put a sweater on it. If you're too embarrassed, make it the funny thing. Does that make sense? Put a little thing on its head and go on a milk route. Hey, I just wanted to brighten your day. If every time you're around them, you just want to brighten their day and they get a upset client, who do you think they're going to call to brighten their day? That's what you want. You want to associate, like a brand, you want to associate yourself with good energy, brightening their day, solution-based. You're going to find them a solution. Don't worry, we're going to get through this together. Things like that type of energy is what's going to make them gravitate towards you. When clients already have an agent and, you know, their agent's been showing them houses and showing them houses and showing them houses, and it hasn't worked out, and now the market shifted, but the agent's so beat up, they're not feeling the enthusiasm. You come along, you're like, man, I'm rocking and rolling. I just got a $40,000 credit on this deal, a $20,000 credit on this deal, just got this house reduced for this much. I'm fired up and so excited. I will say that shit in Starbucks. I'm like, and they're like, well, how's your day going? I just did all these things. They are, I'm not even talking about real estate. Oh, you know what? I always wanted to buy a house. You have to share these secrets with everybody. And that's how you're going to use it like a fishing lure. And you're going to find the people that are going to, it's going to be a spark to get momentum, to get them to move forward, right? But it's your excitement.
I wanted to spotlight something you said because would you guys all read this? Content's amazing.
It is.
It's phenomenal content. And she said something that I don't want you to miss. And that is finding their Facebook friends and adding their Facebook friends. And then if you do that, and then if they accept your friend request and you start liking their stuff, you're going to start showing up in their newsfeed. And when you're their friend, Facebook Messenger, you know, you probably know this, is an app on your smartphone, and you can directly interact with these people. You can send them an audio message. You can send them a meme. You could send them a text message. You could actually call them. There's a phone number. You just press the phone, you call them. So that right there is pure gold. And if you're scrolling on Facebook anyway, find these people that they're friends and add them. It's a huge opportunity.
So I only have 13 minutes. I got away from myself, okay? So one of the things I did not stress out about that is the most important thing ever, is current client referrals. Current client referral, okay? This is the most important script. And by the way, I don't even care that I'm running out of time because I gave all this to you guys in writing. I gave you multiple scripts to help you with your communication to these borrowers. Now, current client referrals, let's talk about this. I'm doing my Tuesday update. Hey, I'm super excited. Your appraisal came back. It's just what we needed for your loan to stay the exact same, so nothing has changed. Isn't that amazing? Is it amazing?
Yeah.
So excited. How you feeling right now? Are you getting pretty excited?
Mhm.
Awesome. You know what? I have enjoyed working with you so much. It's really important to me to work with people I like spending time with, and I have just truly enjoyed you. What I find is awesome people tend to hang out with awesome people. Now, here's the deal. The minute you close your transaction, I'm out a customer. Can I ask you a favor?
Sure.
If I make sure we close on time with the same funds you thought we were going to do or less, and I treat you like family throughout this transaction, can I count on you to find me 3 other people that might one day want to buy a home? Can I count on you to do that for me? Now, here's the deal. There's something in your head called a reticular activator. When you go through a certain experience, you have a heightened awareness that it's going on around you. For example, you buy that new red car, you drive off a lot, you see the red car everywhere. You're pregnant. Oh man, why is everybody else pregnant too? It's what happens. So while you're going through this, you're gonna have a heightened awareness that other people around you are gonna mention, oh man, you're buying a house. I always wanted to do that. Oh man, what rate are you getting? I've been thinking about doing a refi. So please have your antennas up and be super aware when anybody else mentions they might also want to buy. I really need you to group text us. And just say, here's that lender I've been mentioning to you. I just wanted to make her a resource in case you ever have any questions. It's very key that you group text. Are you comfortable with that? I promise I'm not going to hard sell them. I'm just going to be a resource for them. Is that okay? Perfect.
Sure, yeah.
What I find is if you just give them my name and number, they really don't call. So if you group text us, it's very non-aggressive. and it at least gets my foot in the door, and I really, really appreciate it. Can I count on you for that? When you say, can I count on you, what happens?
There's commitment.
You feel committed. If you wait till they funded, what happens?
You never see them again.
Never hear from them again. They're busy, guys, they're moving. The key is during the process. So I use my Tuesday update. When there's not a problem, I'll create a problem. Oh my God, man, it was really hard to get your verification of employment. We called like 5 times. I had to Google corporate and all these other phone numbers. I mean, it was a nightmare, but guess what? We got the job done. You're teeing it up for a feeling of high. You want to get them high of excitement, right? Oh my God, the suspense, there's these things going on and it's so stressful, but great news, we overcame it. It's a tee up, right? To ask for the referral. Does that make sense? So you want to pay attention to when you're doing it, but the goal is every week in a 3-week process, you get 1 referral. So by closing, you got 3. Now, if every client gave you 3 referrals, what would happen to your business?
Triple.
It'd flip and explode, right? So, do you guys have any questions so far?
Yes, when you said builder, did you mean the sales agents in there, or do you mean actually getting a hold of the builder, or are you just talking about the frontline sales agent?
So the best approach is the ground up and then the top down, and you hit it from both ends, but you got to start with the ground up because you got to find out from people on the streets, who's your supervisor, who's a sales manager, who picks your preferred realtor partners, right? That's a very real thing. Vera Horton uses, oh God, and I'm really gonna, Dayton Trader in I think it's Arizona or Texas, it honestly doesn't matter. But he closes thousands of transactions from builder channel accounts. And it's because once he proved them, you give me that listing, I'll get it sold by the time needed. Once you get that reputation that you're reliable, you open it up for them to give them all to you. So you hit it from the ground up and you go, hey, what kind of wine do they like? Hey, what do they like to do for fun? Again, add all their friends, add all their sales agents on social media, like everybody, follow everybody. But you got to have the buzz be with the sales agents. Like I've gotten like 15 deals from Lennar that are all fallouts in the last couple weeks because they're desperately trying to duct tape these deals together. And again, if you're in there trying to help, what can I do to help? Can I run some comps for that listing that's not selling? What can I do to help? If it doesn't work out, who do you think is going to get that client? You're going to get that $900,000 client that couldn't afford $1 million too. You see what I'm saying? These are good deals. These aren't little tiny $250,000 first time home buyers. You're fishing for the $1 million, $900,000, $800,000, and you're trying to help them keep deals together. Most of those have a house to sell. And who's having a hard time selling houses right now? And I mean, I hate to prey on those agents that are struggling, but there's 9,000 realtors in Placer Sacramento. Only the top 1,000 do a deal a month.
Yep.
The other 8,000 do less than 1 deal a month. So those agents are less experienced is the problem. And that's kind of your pitch. I belong to a huge team with a lot of resources, right? And we're here to serve all areas, right? We're happy to help. But we can guarantee a close. Like Tom Day's pitch about he'll sell it or he'll buy it or whatever. Obviously, there's circumstances they have to meet. Well, the same applies to us. If you guys go in and say, hey, I can guarantee a close as long as the client lists for the price I say. It's very simple. You don't have to add the little until fine print's needed, right? So, and I'm just being serious. I'm just being dead serious. So you have to talk with confidence. Ford is in here. Family, occupation, recreation, dream. What do we talk about? Well, the problem is if we're worried about what we're talking about, it's because we're talking about, we think we have to talk about ourselves. If we're going, hey, I'm super excited to meet. I really want to get to know you better. How, do you have any family that live around here? Let's hear about their sisters, brothers, cousins, kids, whatever. Let's hear about their kids. Let's hear about their parents. What do you like to do for fun? If you could travel anywhere, where would you go? If you're rapid firing at them about them, all they know is they love you by the end. So if you're nervous and you don't know what to talk about yourself, don't. Your instinct is right. Find out all about them. What's important to them? Do you love your job? Oh, what do you do? Tell me about it. What does that entail? Do you love it? Do you wish you could do something else? If you could do anything, what would you do? You're digging deep with these people, right? But if there's awkward silence, or if you don't know what to say, 100% of the time resort to them. Talk about them. It is what will make them feel loved. It'll make them feel like you care about them. They're not just a deal. Does that make sense? It builds connection and relationship, 100% relationship. And that's what we want, because right now, what I keep telling everybody and what's most important to understand of our job is we manage fear for a living. That is what we do. Let's be super clear. We manage fear for a living. So the most profound thing you can say to your borrowers throughout the process over and over again, I guarantee you we're going to get through this together. I will do whatever it takes to make this happen for you. Failing you is absolutely not an option. It's not even on the radar. Now, if I'm a buyer and my agent says that to me, how will I feel? Comfortable. I'll build trust. If they don't say things like that to me constantly, my brain's gonna go, what if it falls apart? What if this happens? What if the seller blows the house up? What if it catches fire? I mean, they think of everything. Some of the stuff I hear, I'm like, just so you know, that's not even a thing. So I know your mind's going like this, but it's not even a thing. But we don't realize that if we aren't proactively saying, hey, I just want to make sure you know everything's gonna be okay. And they go,
Could they record you for what you just said?
yeah. What did I say?
I want you guys to, if you want
Manage
to,
fear.
take out your phone and hit the record button, because she's gonna give you the script. And she's in this high level program for how many years you're part of for?
18 years.
18 years in this high level mentor program. So she's got the script. So just hit the record button on your phone and tell them that thing about failure's not an option. We're not
Yes, correct.
getting that those goals.
So the most important thing, again, you guys, is you're creating in their mind a level of security. So when you do your Tuesday updates, if you're constantly reminding them, hey, great news, the appraisal came in, it came in at value, one less thing checked off our list. I just want to remind you that everything's going to be okay. How are you feeling? Do you have any concerns? Okay, I just want to make sure you understand that we're going to get hit with multiple hurdles. I don't care what comes at us. No matter what it is, we are going to get through this together. No matter what happens, failing you is absolutely not an option to me. No matter what, we're going to brainstorm through the solution. I will not fail you no matter what. And again, we are going to get through this together. I keep reminding them they're not alone, because if they are feeling fear, you guys, and you are not the ones reminding them that you are with them, you know what they do? They talk to other agents. They talk to other friends and family, and they separate themselves from you. But if you are, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I know that the fire insurance came in $100 more than expected. I'm currently brainstorming with your lender. We're going to overcome that payment. I promise you. I've got your back. So you constantly remind them that you are their protector. You are their advisor. You are looking out for their best interest. And no matter what, you are going to make sure that it all turns out okay.
So take that 1 minute and listen to it again and again and again. I'll put it right in your subconscious mind, just like listening to a song on the radio. It's a 1 minute clip and you listen to it like 100 times and you just put her words in your subconscious.
So the
Sounds
reason
awesome.
we don't say those things is because we're afraid we can't control everything, right?
Yeah.
We can't, right? We can't. But can we do the best to our ability? Yes. If there's something you literally physically can't control it, they're not going to hold it against you and say, this is your fault. And that's my experience. They say, I know it didn't work out, Alicia, but you did every single thing in your power and we appreciate you. And then they stay with me when they go to the next house. Does that make sense? But the difference is through the process, I'm trying to avoid their brain going to a sense of fear and being in a place where they make irrational decisions and they're seeking elsewhere for guidance. And by me telling them, constantly affirming everything's going great, everything's okay, don't worry, anything they throw at us, we're going to get through together. And I continuously do the together.
I can say that definitely works. I just did it like a more in-depth one yesterday with one of my clients. They're relocating from Dixon to Roseville. She has a new job as a teacher. Yesterday was the first day back in the classroom. So I can tell she was like tense.
Yeah.
They just got their home listed. They're going to start the buy side. So I always do this thing where I like prep them for the worst, expect the best type thing. And I can just like, I feel like it just leveled up our connection that we already
Relationship.
had. Like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, Alicia, by the way, like, I know you have your hands super full right now with your new school and your new grade that you're dealing with. Like, I just want to remind you that if there's anything that you need, I'm your friend. Also, don't think I'm just like this, suit and tie type of guy. Like, if you feel stressed at any point, if you have any concerns, I want you to feel comfortable to come to me. And like, it just like literally like, I mean, we already had a great relationship and they were like, I really appreciate that. Like
Yeah.
they were just like super open.
And saying everything's gonna be okay, even when there's no problem, is the best thing you could do. Because in their mind, there's a fear of a problem. And so you're just comforting them before they admit it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's very, very important. So I only have 5 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions or any about what I've covered so far? No, you guys are so easy. So
were
is there
really
anything
good.
else you want me to cover in the last couple of minutes or?
Yeah.
Well, thank
I would-
you.
I would ask. a couple questions.
Yes.
Maybe not everybody realizes it, but when you say you have people over your house, you have a freaking ranch,
We
right?
do have a ranch,
You just built a stadium for your horses, right? How big
Yeah.
is that thing?
250 by 100.
All right, that is huge.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring that up is I want everybody to know that Alicia is not a normal lender. There's not much normal about Alicia. We haven't figured that out. How many transactions do you and your team do a year?
So I'm down from the past, but I still do 200 and that's down. But I, I'm hustling to, here's one thing I know about what's going on right now in the market. About 60% of lenders are gonna go out of business. Pretty quick here. It's gonna take about 60
Most
to 90
lenders,
days.
very seldom do lenders do more than 100. So
Yeah.
for agents, you guys
Yeah.
think that 100 would be a good lender. I mean, that's probably top 10% of people who do 100. For her to be doing 200, she's freaking incredible. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody had that reference.
But just real quick, because I really think it's important for you guys to understand what's happening, okay? A lot of brokers are gonna sell loans for close to nothing in a desperate attempt to stay in business because they're working 4 times as hard to do 1/4 the business,
Mhm.
okay? Not only that, the 1/4 the business they're doing, they're cutting their commissions down to sometimes as low as 1 point. That's not a sustainable business plan. It's what people did in 08, 09, and they all went out of business. About 60% of them. I can't wait. I can't wait. I thrived last time. I'm gonna thrive this time. The reality is that those people who are doing that, so just be prepared and prep your customers. You don't want your current customers to get stray and leave your lender you trust and go to these brokers. But the minute we pull the credit, they get bombarded by about 50 lenders. I've had an average of about 40 that everybody tells me. So I prep the client, hey, you're about to get pre-qualified. I just want to let you know the minute your credits ran, you're going to get about 40 banks text messaging you. Think about it this way. If they were good, they wouldn't need to buy your information from the credit bureaus. So they're not any good. They're snakes and they sit in a little call center room just trying to steal people's business. That's the character of these people who are reaching out to you. They have no shame in not following through with your deal. They have no problem if they do a terrible job because they don't have a relationship with your realtor. Okay, there's nothing on the line for them to lie to you and bait and switch you. So tread lightly because they are vultures. So the best thing I recommend you do is block them. The minute it starts, just block them so you have peace of mind. They're gonna try to create doubt in your mind against your lender. So I made a flyer of like the psychoest looking clown ever. And it's like wanted, and I send it to the client the minute I pull the credit. And I let them know, like, this is the scumbags who are contacting you. Don't get distracted.
So don't sugar.
I don't sugarcoat it, man. Otherwise, the client will shop. Otherwise, the client will shop, get distracted, stall the good lender from starting the escrow when you get the contract. And now you lose 3-4 days of the contract because these idiots are distracting them. Does that make sense? Bait and switching them. So if we prep our customers, guys, it'll make the transaction smoother and you'll retain these borrowers with the lender you want them to be with. Yay!
I would add one last thing is like what, some of the stuff that Alicia's bringing up, being creative and everything, especially for newer agents. You guys this is all brand new stuff to you, but this has been around and proven for years and years. And Alicia's just been through it for so long, right?
22 years.
That what you guys are gonna see is that if you are not, what is it Bill says, if you are not disciplined in this market will discipline you.
Yes.
Okay, like it will show you that all the things that she has on her list that she sits there and does and is going out of her way for extra lead gen, you need to do. Okay, National Association of Realtors thinks that, says that 30% of agents will be out of business, along with those 60% of lenders in the next 12 to 24 months. Okay,
Bye-bye.
so that means those are the people that are not working. Okay, don't let it have fear into you, just make sure you are disciplined and you work hard.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, Lisa. Big round of applause. Mr. Lisa. All right, everybody, real quick, before you pop up out of those chairs like someone bit you. We have a couple events coming up, Made for More Mixer. You can bring clients to this. This is a fun thing. And it's free. You can bring clients to this. This is the Made for More Mixer. It's going to be a Crawdad September 1st. It's a fun time. Build's coming up in 2 weeks, guys. So we will not be here in 2 weeks. Okay.
Okay.
And then results is that next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Next Thursday, results. We're gonna be meeting at P-Car. We're gonna be meeting at P-Car. You good? All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care and have a fantastic week.